You don't have to be a millennial to be socially savvy. We believe anyone can join Generation Social Media, and your journey starts now. This is the Generation Social Media Podcast by Chatterkick.
Hello, and welcome back to Generation Social Media Podcast. My name is Hannah, and I will be your host for today. I'm here with Allison, our creative manager, to discuss the topic of capturing genuine content that your consumers want. We all know that creating content is essential for any business, but how can we ensure that producing content that truly resonates with our audience? That's where content capture comes in. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is a content capture?
So a content capture is a way to capture the uniqueness of your brand, and you're essentially making an authentic bank of photos or videos for your specific brand, and it can feature your people, the environment, the work you do. It's kind of like, why would you want to try to find stock photos that can look like your brand when you can just get photos of your people, of your place, of your workplace, and really showcase exactly what it's like to be there or to work with you. Right. So content capture, when we go to an on-site content capture, that's what we're doing. We're capturing photos, videos, any of those small moments in between that can really tell the story of your brand.
Great. So let's move on to the first step of the process, finding a photographer and or videographer. How do you find these must-haves in searching?
So Chatterkick we call it our creative network. It's a network of awesome creatives, and they specialize in different kinds of creating. So we have editors, photographers, videographers, and many other creative people. And as a content capture comes up, we will look at the needs of the client. What are they looking for? Are they looking for video? Are they looking for photos? And who would be the best fit out of our creative network? So we have several different people that we work with, and all equally talented and awesome. So it's not like who is the best choice for this, but it's just who would be the best fit for this client, and has the best eye for capturing those little moments, like I said. And that's one thing that is kind of tricky, because you want to go in with a plan, but you also want to be able to be kind of nimble and move, and if you see something happening, you are able to capture that. So having someone who is awesome at what they do, but also able to go with the flow is definitely a must-have. On our side, we always have a Chatterkick person join the content capture as well, and that's for a few different reasons. So we can have them talking with the client, handling that relationship, and really, making sure that they're feeling good and feeling comfortable, making sure that we're capturing everything that they want in the moment too. And then also, we typically, we'll have our phones too, and to get some of that smaller stuff, we could grab a quick live photo, so we can do a lot with that later when creating content. Or maybe we'll get a behind the scenes photo of our creative network partner getting some shots of something, so then we can use that for Chatterkick content too, since it's part of our process. But we also want to make sure that we come in with notes. It's amazing the different bits of information you can get during a content capture, in between, between someone getting their headshot and what they're talking about. Sometimes it's that's the story that you want to get. So just even taking a notepad along and jotting down some of those things of so-and-so has worked here for forever. They're the best at XYZ. And it really helps with creating that content moving forward. So you not only have the awesome photos and videos that our partner was able to capture, but then now we have the story that's connected to that too.
Mm-hmm. Kind of gives it that more authentic feel.
Right. Like it's not just a photo. It's the story behind the photo and like why it matters and why anyone, viewing it on any of the brand social channels or even on their website, like why should they care? Kind of having that little bit of extra information that we can insert into copy really helps.
So once you've found the right photographer and or videographer, it's time to start brainstorming your shot list. So how do you create one of these lists internally?
So we've done it a few different ways. Sometimes we'll collaborate, like we'll jump on a call and we'll have our clients join sometimes. Sometimes we'll do it exclusively internally. And basically what we're trying to do is almost make like a wireframe, like a blueprint of what we are hoping to capture. And that can be, is this a moving shot? Is this a still, is this a photo? Is this just the like feeling we're trying to capture? A lot of times we'll be at content captures and it may be the first time that we've been at a location. So we don't know, is it possible to get this shot, but we might include it on our list just so it's still top of mind when we're there. And again, being able to be kind of flexible and nimble to say, oh, like this didn't work, but we can still do, a really cool time-lapse video from this angle and stuff like that. So it's a shot list is really important because you don't want to just walk in there and be like, what are we doing today?
Right.
That feels very, it can feel very chaotic, but if you go in with a shot list, with a plan, with an outline, and even if the plan changes slightly while you're there, that you have captured, the type of culture shots you want to get, or you're able to get, some of those more detailed shots that while you're in the moment, content captures, although they might be like, some of them are half days or even full days, and that time flies by. And you would think that you would be like, oh, I won't forget that. But having that list is so helpful to make sure that you're capturing everything. Because the worst thing would be is if you got back from, a 4-hour content capture and you're like, oh my gosh, we forgot this entire section that we were hoping to feature in a campaign. So.
And so I know personally I have created the shot list for some of our clients, and some of the best ones are the ones that you get people engaging with the camera, whether it's waving, thumbs up, just smiling, interacting with other employees. Those always seem to go over really well.
Yeah. Well, and I like the moments too, like where you say, hey, can you look, or if you get a group shot, like group shots of like team members at a business are always really great. But it's that photo, but then it's like the half a second after too, when everyone relaxes and then they're actually smiling because it's funny the everyone, when they know a camera's around, they forget what to do with their like hands and their face. They're like, what are these things? And so having that video hang on for just a couple extra seconds, so you can get those like few seconds of them like laughing and like exhaling and breathe, and kind of feeling like they can be themselves. Like those are the moments. Or the non-pose moments, honestly, are what are really great too. So a lot of times we'll try to as like awkward as it may feel, like we'll be like, just keep working. We're not here, and we'll just try to kind of hide around a corner or, be pretty, as quiet as possible and just try to get some of those photos of people actually working and interacting with each other. And a lot of times those are the moments that are really great. It's the exhale moment.
The ones when they're least expecting you to be there, taking a picture of them.
Yes.
Not sure that you're there.
Yeah, or like the genuine reactions, someone genuinely laughing, someone genuinely looking excited, or genuinely concentrating on what they're doing. I mean, it's funny, those teeny tiny changes you can spot that. Like someone can spot that, a user can spot that, just like they can spot a stock photo. Someone can spot if someone is looking uncomfortable in a photo or video. It's like a shoulder thing. They're like
Right.
scrunching. So
So why is a content capture so important?
well, a content capture is super important, especially if it's, supposed to be showcasing your brand. And so again, like you don't want to try to find stock photos that could look like your brand when you can just take pictures of your space and of your people. And I think one thing that's been really interesting lately is just kind of the rise of AI and how things are moving so quickly. But AI images have a very specific look. And so,
Yes.
although they're super cool, it's kind of blows my mind. It's really amazing what AI can do. There's still value in real photos. And I think, as different brands are utilizing AI for different reasons and in different ways, again, people will still be able to pick out, like, is this a real picture of a person? And, is this actually what it's like to work at this business? We do a lot of content for recruiting campaigns and things like that. And so we want to showcase what it's actually like to work there, showing real people working there. And I think there would be a lot of trust lost if there was an AI image used to showcase this is our culture, but it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's right along the line of using stock footage, where it's like it's similar, but it's not quite there. It doesn't showcase you, in an authentic way. And so I think that that's one thing that content captures are really important for that reason.
So what's the difference between a virtual content capture and an on-site content capture?
So we've done a few of virtual content captures before COVID happened, and when everyone was kind of working virtually, our virtual content captures increased. And one thing that I've found for those is that when we're able to kind of have a conversation, we're able to get a little bit deeper. So it'll be a little bit less visually dynamic. But for virtual content captures, it's basically like when we jump on a Zoom or a Google Meet, we'll have an interview with a client. We'll ask them some of those questions where they can go into a little bit more detail. We might even be able to, connect with like a founder of the business to get kind of their story. And it's a real opportunity that we wouldn't necessarily have in an in-person content capture where, they might be busy. They only have a few minutes to stop by, see how things are going. And in an in-person content capture is really where we're walking around at the business. We're getting photos of the people who are working there, the products maybe, or services that brand is providing. And so it's really kind of a difference in, what is your goal for content? Is it, if it's thought leadership, information, kind of like behind the scenes insider kind of for your industry kind of info, a virtual content capture is a really great option because it just allows that space to talk and to have those deeper
Right.
conversations. But then, like I said, in-person content capture is a great way to showcase culture and feature employees. And so really, you can't go wrong either way. It'd be awesome if everyone did
Right.
both, right? you know? But yeah.
And I know there's different pieces of content you can use from each one. So virtual, there's kind of like the audio, there may be a little bit of video. but you also get the chance to pull some quotes that may stand out to you to use in content. And then in person, it's kind of different in a way because you get the photos, you get videos, and you can get those quotes or audio bites.
Yeah, no, that's a super great point because, that's one thing too. If we're taking the time, or the person, the owner of the business is taking the time to do a content capture with us, we want to make sure that we're using what's captured to the most that we can possibly use it, to the max. Mm-hmm. And so we would use that, like the video content, or repurpose it in so many different ways. So then that message is still coming from that person. It's just presented in a different way. And that can be for different platforms too. If video on one, and then maybe an image or some of those audio wave files on another.
Right. Is there anything else you would like the audience to know about content captures?
I want to know from you as a creator, what is your favorite kind of content to create from a content capture?
I would say probably getting those behind the scenes, more off guard kind of photos or videos, just because they can be more authentic and kind of give that genuine feel of what the culture is like there. And then also those behind the scenes videos perform really well for like TikToks or Reels, and they can be kind of fun and more engaging.
Right. Cool. No, I mean, I don't know. I think it's something that is really beneficial for all of our clients who do that. It's something that we include in most of our retainer packages, and it's for that reason. Like, we want to make content that actually connects and matters and is showing that brand's story. And so because of that, that's, a content capture is typically included in a lot of our packages that we, when we're working with clients. And I mean, they're super fun. I think they're fun. And one thing that would be helpful too on client side, and to maybe get people loosened up, ready to have a camera in their face, is just letting their team know, like giving them a heads up of like, hey, someone's going to be here. Like, don't worry, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Everyone feels, a little bit awkward in front of a camera, but it's always great. Like I said, we have such amazing partners that they know how to make people look awesome. And I mean, that's our goal, to tell a positive story. We're not going to, if someone's looking like a goofball, we're not going to use that photo unless, unless they, like, that's their personality. And it's like, yeah, share the goofball photo. But that's what we're trying to kind of capture, is those real moments. So.
Right. All right. Well, that's all for today's episode of Generation Social Media. I hope you found this discussion helpful. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on social media. Thank you, Allison, for being here.
Thanks.
And thank you for listening.
That's it for this episode of Generation Social Media Podcast. If you had an aha moment or just a ha-ha moment, I would be so grateful if you leave a review with the moment you loved most. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the next episode, fill out the form on generationsocialmediapodcast.com.